Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the home of Unitarian Universalism in Central Washington. Our names are Roxanne Harrison, John Harrison, he's busy,
Owyn Barnes,
and Owyn Barnes, okay. We will be your celebrants and worship leaders this morning.
Today is a lay-led service. If you are interested in speaking on a Sunday, please see our worship team chairs, Lynn Madsen or Steve Clem. Training is available. If you are a visitor this morning, we are so glad you're here. We welcome every person of goodwill, just as you are, whatever body you inhabit, whomever you love, whatever your age, you are welcome here. We invite everyone to join us for coffee, treats, and conversation after the service, both in person and on Zoom. For the folks on Zoom, you'll find the order of service in your chat. For everyone in our building, please take a moment to be inclusive to those on Zoom and turn and wave to that camera. And now please take another moment and greet those around you today, perhaps somebody you may not know well. It is so good to be together this morning in all the ways we gather. We are so glad you are here.
Some of the people here are helping out with the production of today's service. Many people are behind the scenes to support Sunday worship services. Thank you to our greeters and our musicians. And for the tech support, the announcement loop, the service graphics, our Zoom host and coffee host, the care team, and our religious educators. It takes a lot of people to make something like this work well for everyone. Roxanne has a few announcements.
Well, and actually our first announcements will be from Heather Conrad.
Hi, so I have a planned announcement and a surprise announcement. So the planned announcement is that we're going to do Camp Cuff again. We've got pretty much all meals provided, so just bring yourself. There's going to be a potluck Friday and then bring your own lunch Saturday. And then other than that, we're going to do groups. You don't have to bring cooking stuff, any of that. Now, surprise announcement, Cuff made an offer on another building. But we don't know that it will work yet. There will be feasibility studies, and of course, Cuff gets to vote. So the information I have today is that we're going to give you a link to look at the business. It's Power Sports. They are still in business, so please don't go there or bother them or call them. But all their pictures are on their online listing. We can share that, and then we're going to do a congregational meeting August 30th at noon after the service. An official announcement will go out this week because we've got 10 days to tell you about it. And that way you guys can all share your opinion on this before we get too far down the rabbit hole. But it'd be very exciting, and it would mean being able to move from one building into another and potentially less debt.
We are currently accepting donations for our annual jewelry sale fundraiser happening September 17th through the 19th. Donations can be left here in our office, or they can be left on Heather's front porch at 1111 South Okanagan in Wenatchee. Not this Heather, Heather Seaman. If you'd like to volunteer your time for this event, please contact Heather Seaman. Also, a wonderful graphic will be going out soon by Amy Massey. It will be available to hand out or to send to all your Facebook friends. And now our land acknowledgements. Land acknowledgements are part of a long-standing Indigenous tradition of recognizing relationships with the land and its original caretakers. Today, we too acknowledge this relationship. We gather on the homeland of the Pasquosa, land spanning from the banks of the Columbia River to the Cascade Mountains. As many as 2,000 Pasquosa lived here for generations upon generations and were the stewards of this land. The Pasquosa people still live here today, and we acknowledge our shared responsibility to sustain right relations with each other and the land.
And now if you will rise in body and spirit to sing the garden song together.
It is a blessing to gather in this moment. Out of all the moments we have lived and all the moments yet to come, this is the one we have right now. So often our minds wander to yesterday with its regrets, or tomorrow with its uncertainties. Yet in many spiritual traditions, we're reminded that the sacred is not found in the past or the future, but in the present, in the now. This is the moments where seeds of gratitude are born. It is where peace can be found. It is where we recognize that despite life's challenges, we have another moment in time to learn, to love, to serve, and to simply be. To be satisfied in the present doesn't mean our journey is complete or that we have no hopes for tomorrow. It means we trust that this moment has purpose, and we receive it with open hearts. So for the next little while, let's give ourselves permission to stop rushing ahead, to stop replaying yesterday, and to simply enjoy this moment. After all, the present is the only place where life actually happens.
The chalice and flame symbolize our congregation gathered in principles and faith. If you are at home, light your own chalice with you, and please join me in lighting it. Here in the sanctuary, we will speak these lighting words in unison. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Song of the Universe. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Listen carefully. Can you still hear your song? The one sung for you when you were born. The song sung by a cosmos in motion, rejoicing at your life. You, the result. You, the outcome. You, the celebration. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility. A reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes a recognition that it's not always easy. Possibilities can be hard to pursue. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists. The universe sings no less because time and space wear us thin. The music calls us to recognize our limitations, to recognize that the song is best sung with others. Here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others. And that is from an anthology of meditations by Manish Mishra Marsetti. And from Mary Oliver, The Gardener. Have I lived enough? Have I loved enough? Have I considered right action enough? Have I come to any conclusions? Have I experienced happiness with sufficient gratitude? Have I endured loneliness with grace? I say this, or perhaps I'm just thinking it. Actually, I probably think too much. Then I step out into the garden, where the gardener, who is said to be a simple man, is tending his children, the roses. And do we have any children at all today besides the young at heart? I do not see any, so if I'm missing any, let me know. All right. On that note, then we will put my glasses back on since I'm looking at the close stuff now. We will begin our sharing and honoring.
This is a time in our service that we set aside with reverence to honor life events that impact us in a deep personal way. This is not a time for politics or advertisement. It's a time of reverence, of care, and of intention. We are all responsible for the caring ministry of our fellowship. Throughout the month, our pastoral care team works to encourage and coordinate the work of that ministry. It's a mystery too, isn't it? We probably have a pastoral care representative today. There's one in the back. There she is. Thank you. Let us take a moment to pause and think about how we can be mindful of our shared ministry during this time. Each of us has a responsibility to share only what we have permission to share, to support each other in our sharing, and to keep our remarks short. What's around that? This sharing and honoring is a door we open to each other to allow for further connection. You are now welcome to come forward, say your first and last name, briefly share, then place a stone in the bowl. Meditation. We mention that in our order of service. We also mention things like contemplation and prayer and other words that some folks feel a little uncomfortable with. So what I suggest is, for what I'm going to share, use it in whatever context you feel comfortable with. It's something of a guided contemplation, and we'll see where that goes. Now, there's a concept called grounding and centering. I don't know, does anyone know what that means? It's thrown out there once in a while. Okay, a couple of hands. Basically, grounding is mentally connecting to yourself and connecting yourself to the earth, to the world, to the things around you, to life in general. And that's usually done by being aware of your feet and aware of your breath and aware of your space within that reality. So what I'd like folks to do is, in whatever way is comfortable, ground and center. Take a deep breath and relax. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a wide, sunlit field. The crops surrounding you are ripe, tall, and entirely ready to be gathered. Recognize this bountiful field as the physical manifestation of all the energy, time, and care you have invested this past year. As you walk into this space, silently thank yourself for all the seeds you have planted, the challenges you have navigated, and the growth you have fostered. Visualize gathering the fruits of your labor into a warm, overflowing basket. Allow yourself to truly feel the weight of this abundance, knowing you are entirely worthy of receiving it. Now picture a gentle autumn breeze rustling through the remaining leaves on the trees. With every exhale, imagine releasing any lingering doubts, fears, or plans that drain your energy, letting them fall like leaves back into the earth to nourish future growth. Take one final deep breath, anchoring this feeling of peace, steadiness, and gratitude within your body. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes and become aware of your space here that's connected to your space there. And for those who travel during a meditation, return to this space and this time. As Roxanne mentioned, there is this time, this moment, unless you're Doctor Who, and then you can be any place, any time, and that's an entirely different reality.
My script here, because this is the one without my sermon. All right, there's more paper to move around when there's more of us here. And okay, I haven't lost my mind, but apparently I've lost my sermon. Just one second. I'm looking through the garden. I know, I just. Okay, well, it's about gardens.
Someone say living life religion?
No, they didn't. Okay, that's really strange. No.
No. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay, well, part of the I do have it on my phone, so that's a perfect backup if I need to. I had it right.
Where have we been since we've been here?
I know. I think my phone is a good idea. Oh. Okay, I'm going to open my drive here. So sometimes we go out to our garden and there's a lot of stuff going on that we didn't know happened during the time. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's not. And it was right here. I have notes on it and everything. That's okay. I just have school stuff open here on my drive. Oh, I know how to find it quickest is how I sent it to you. Sorry. So, thank you. Here's the one that says sermon.
That could have something to do with it. Try that one.
Unitarian Universalists have connection to many sources of wisdom, including their We take our wisdom from direct personal experience of mystery, the actions and words of prophetic leaders, world religions, Jewish and Christian heritage, humanist reason and science, and earth-centered spirituality. I have looked to many of these sources to prepare us to ponder the seeds we have each planted, the seeds yet to plant, and the reason to even reflect on this topic. Starting with some of our oldest Unitarian roots, one can read in the King James Version of the Bible, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Probably everyone's heard that. And in a modern voice, we can find the words of RuPaul Charles, who declares that if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anybody else?
Gotta get an amen.
Yep, that's exactly what RuPaul would say. So loving ourselves means that we have to know ourselves. We have to discover who we are. Reflect on how we got there. Reflect on the seeds we have sown and grown. And Dolly Parton urges us to find out who you are and do it on purpose. Do it on purpose. We have to take charge of planting our personal seeds, watering the garden, providing nutrients, being mindful of the seasons, of the weather, sometimes protecting from that weather, and sometimes taking in the benefits of that weather. And we have to protect it from those who would harvest, including ourselves, before the garden is ripe and ready. There's some waiting time that happens when we plant our seeds. So with John, we took a brief meditational glance into our personal gardens. And now let's take a look at what seeds, or let's think about what seeds we have planted that are showing blossoms or even fruit ready to harvest. What is growing in our garden? That was, and here's that next. And for some reason, the reason we've all been confused up here too is for some reason this one's not playing nice. So I'm gonna come down here. Should I bring a microphone or use this one? There's a microphone, okay. Now can you hear me? Whoa. So as a congregation, as a community, as a faith community, we have been rooting ourselves with love. That's the center of everything we do as Unitarians, everything we're thinking. So we've planted throughout the year many seeds of love. And with those, we have seeds of interdependence. Think about the things that you have planted in your own life or that you see in those around you. Seeds of pluralism, seeds of justice, seeds of transformation, seeds of generosity, and seeds of equity. And as I come here and see all of you, I see these things in abundance. And if I look in my own life, if I walk through my own garden that includes these things, some of them have more flowers and fruits and vegetables than others. And if I'm missing something in an area, if it's a little thin or maybe even bare, it's now. I can plant those seeds now. I don't have to have regrets or I don't need to cry a tear about it. Now is what we have. And so if you look at your garden and there's something missing, just do it. Do it now. And if you find yourself needing to make time for that, figure out where there's an abundance of growth and maybe find a friend. That's why we're here in community that can help plant some of those seeds with you. I don't know, I kind of like being down here with you. Maybe I won't step back up there. The other thing is my knee hurts up and down these stairs today. But C. Joy Bell has said, there is a part of blooming which I did not understand, you see. You can be a flower all your life, but still not understand it. Blooming is one thing, but blooming where you are planted is another. It's so easy to say, I will bloom when I am there. But you need to be saying, I will bloom right here where I was planted. Because until I bloom right here, I'm never going to actually bloom. Because we cannot bloom in concept, you see. We must bloom now. We must bloom here. And from another source, some Baha'i wisdom, to one who visited in Haifa, Abdul Baha said, at the gate of the garden, some stand and look within, but do not care to enter. Others step inside, behold its beauty, but do not penetrate far. Still others encircle this garden, inhaling the fragrance of the flowers, having enjoyed its full beauty, pass out again by the same gate. But there are always some who enter and, becoming intoxicated with the splendor of what they behold, remain for life to tend the garden. So what will you do with your garden? And now, as some of you have some quote cards, we're going to enter our quote garden and wander through some thoughts. And many of these you will have heard before, and some you might not have. But think of them as you hear people read these quotes, or as you read them yourself. Think about the context of your own personal garden and how it interacts with those in our community. Those are the ones that are at the end of my sermon. Okay. That's on my actual piece of paper that I have.
I'll put them where you can find them.
Thank you. All right, so I don't know, I'm gonna have the microphone here, or actually Owyn has a different one so we don't run out of battery. He and Darius are on it with the planning. And we'll start over here and kind of go this way and then back up. So whoever has the first quotes here, and then we'll just continue back around.
Thank you. There are always flowers for those who want to see them. Henri Matisse said this.
It will never rain roses. When we want to have more roses, we must plant more roses. This came from George Eliot.
In my garden after a rainfall, you can faintly, yes, hear the breaking of new blooms. Truman Capote.
From Proverbs, a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they will never sit.
The garden. Okay. Ooh. The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind. Its presence is more beautiful than the stars, with more clarity than the polished mirror of your heart. Rumi.
Garden as you will live forever. William Kent.
A Spanish proverb, more grows in the garden than the gardener sows.
Gardening is the work of a lifetime. You never finish, says Oscar de la Renta.
A Japanese proverb, care for the roots and the branches will bloom.
To see things in the seed, that is genius. Lao Tzu. Chinese.
To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. Audrey Hepburn. from Terry Prince. Your life is a garden and your thoughts are your seeds. So if your life isn't awesome, you've been watering the weeds.
Meister Eckhart says, "What we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action."
Janet Kilburn Phillips, there are no gardening mistakes, only experiments.
If you're an old hippie, you might remember Robert Rodale. In almost every garden, the land is made better, and so is the gardener.
Kurt Vonnegut said that life is a garden, not a road. We enter and exit through the same gate. Wandering where we go matters less than what we notice.
I thought I was growing a garden, but the garden was quietly growing me all along. Bruwan Tapalea.
And don't think the garden loses its ecstasy in winter. It's quiet, but the roots are down there, riotous.
From the Baha'i tradition, in the garden of the heart, plant naught but roses.
Thank you. I love that community connection when we are sharing things together. In closing, in Mary Oliver's words, I ask you, in one of my favorite quotes, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So, what seeds will you continue to plant? What seeds have you benefited from right now when you look around at yourself and your community? All right, we are ready for our musical response. If you want to sing out by Cat Stevens. And
An offering is an ancient element of worship. The act of giving, regardless of amount, is a spiritual practice that expresses our thankfulness and generosity. We live these values in abundance, joyfully sharing our gifts and strengths in service to the greater good is one way we create a beloved community. We will now receive the offering. You may also give using the QR code in the order of service.
Order of service might seem like a non sequitur, but to me, before I came to Cuff, love, generosity, that stuff was a little more universal. What was tricky for me was the justice part. And Woody Guthrie planted a lot of seeds. We planted a seed when he wrote this song forever ago. Reverend Laura planted a seed when she gave an impassioned, justice-focused sermon. And I remember sitting right over there and how shocked I was. Like, you expect me to do something? I just came here to learn how to be nice. But justice is one of the ways that we improve the community that we live in. So it's linked to the offertory to me mentally because we're taking an offering for the work that we do in the community. Some of the work we do in the community is born of all of these seeds that we've been tending so far, where I now have a little more courage to join all of the beautiful faces that we see at protests. And there's a lot to protest. So it's linked. There you go.
And there was no minister to tell us no.
Exactly.
We are blessed by your generosity. May your gifts make a difference in our community through the ministries of this church. But wait, there's more music. Crowded Table by the Highwaywomen. I don't know this one.
Maybe it'll be familiar when we start. It's congregational. Let's all sing together. If you are willing or able, you may stand and join us. You've heard it a few times before, but you'll catch on as we go if you haven't.
More music and more music. And now for the benediction, I'm going to use this microphone and stand here where I can see you all. There you are. Please take a moment and become fully aware of your feet. I mentioned feet earlier. We're mentioning them again. Most of us hardly ever think of them, but there they are, pressing firmly down, connecting you to the world. Belief is a curious thing. For example, though we believe we are standing still, we're actually in constant motion. The atoms of our bones, the air in our lungs, the blood in our veins, constant motion. In Juneau, Alaska, the circumference of this rock we stand on is about 13,000 miles, spinning rapidly west to east at 556 miles an hour. Your spot right here is moving even faster at 745 miles an hour. Think about that a moment. Standing still, you're moving at 745 miles an hour. Rather than the ancient idea that we are the static center of the universe and everything revolves around us, we've come to learn that we are circling the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, journeying with the entire solar system and our arm of the Milky Way and swinging around a great galactic center at about 137 miles per second. That's the distance from here to Pasco, one Mississippi. And this is just one galaxy among billions. But keeping our thoughts more down to earth, that earth where we plant our seeds, perhaps the most important thing to remember is that no matter the challenges or the seldom noticed dance of our bodies and our world, we are making this incredible journey together.
As we extinguish our chalice, please join me in saying the words printed in your order of service or on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and embody in our lives until we are together again. And our tradition is to join hands and make a circle as we sing our closing song.